Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of AngularAir. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's show, we are going to have some recipes, maybe a little food recipes, or maybe some code recipes, or maybe a little bit of both. RxJS, I believe. So looking forward to it. Let's say hi to our panelists, and then we will meet our guests, and we'll get into the content. Joining us today, we have Alyssa. Alyssa, how's it going?
I'm so excited. I officially, non-officially met Lamis. Just totally spoiled our guest yesterday during
already
during a meeting, and she was just laying out all these ideas, and I was like, this person is smart. I should listen to this person. So totally pumped to have her on the show today.
You're supposed to wait until the last panelist to spoil the guest. Yeah, we have traditions here.
I could not. It could not be held.
Okay. You look so good. I love your background. I can't even be upset with you.
Bonnie's with us. Bonnie, how's it going? Hey, you haven't been around for a little bit, so it's so great to have you back. How's it going?
I know. It's much later here, so sometimes it's at the end of the day and it's crazy and I'm tired, but there's no... Wild horses could not keep me away from Lamis Chebbi. I mean, whoever our guest is today.
Mystery guest,
You say that saying a lot, and every time you say it, I imagine you riding a wild horse off into some awesome field.
Oh, yeah.
So keep saying it, because it's a great
absolutely.
image.
So I'm curious, though. You say it's later there. I'm getting older, and my definition of later keeps changing. So what time is it there?
6 p.m.
Yeah, that speaks to me. I got you. I feel you.
But sometimes it depends on how long, because sometimes it's been a long day and I've been sitting in this chair all day and it's been crazy. But
I feel you. But 6 is
on wild horses. Yeah.
Yeah. Between the chair and the wild horses, it's been a busy day sometimes.
I think I'm going to change up the introduction of our panelists and just introduce all of you at once. So then you're free to talk and
group say introduction. I'm so down.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Bonnie. I'm like, I haven't even said hi, Mike. Hi, Bonnie yet. So I'm confusing people. I'm just going to have to change up the situation.
I just want them to know that we almost started late because Justin was trying to get us all to behave ourselves and Mike would not stop being funny. And
Mike looks like a serial killer in the Twitter photo.
Make the face, Mike.
Oh my God, seriously, it actually scares me. It's actually frightening, Mike.
And then we told him to stop making the scary face, and he made another face, which was also funny, and Justin's like, y'all behave yourselves. Come on, let's go.
But we're here to talk about Angular.
All right, but one more detail. Mike, how's it going? Good to have you here.
It's going well. Pro tip for you next show, Justin. Just say our panelists today are Michaelis and Bonnie, and just move right into the guests.
It's a free for all, yeah.
And we don't even get to talk. I love that.
I agree. I probably need to say our guests as well, because apparently we'll talk about that as well. Which I don't even know why I go that pattern, because we're in a video, we can kind of see everybody. So I don't know. But anyways,
it's tradition.
Our guest today, it's tradition, right. Our guest today is Lamis. Lamis, how's it going? So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Hopefully, we're not being too crazy for you.
I laughed already so much, so
getting a little wild here in the introduction. So, you want to fill us in a little bit about yourself? What you're up to, who you are, that sort of.
Yeah. So my name is Lamis. I am based in Tunisia, in North Africa, near the Mediterranean Sea. It's very warm now. 20 degrees, 20 degrees. Yeah, we still can go to the beach, so it's cool. And I'm a senior software engineer. I've been into Angular for the past few years. I was a Java developer before. I am coming from this Java land. Yeah, I experienced the golden age of Java. And then I made this move to the front end, the modern web, Angular, RxJS, and all this stuff, and I really love it. Yeah, and I'm leading now an Angular team in my company. And in parallel, I started a career as a speaker, content creator, trainer, and I'm advocating in favor of diversity and in favor of Angular also. I am already a member of women empowerment communities, Women Who Code front end, And this was a rewarding experience for me because, so the first time I attended a conference, in fact, I won the ticket. I won the ticket with Women Who Code community. They give some free tickets for the community. And I won the ticket, and I went there, and I was inspired. I met incredible individuals there, and it was really amazing. I get inspired and said to myself, I want to do this. And I started my career as a speaker also. Yeah, and that's it. I'm GDE for Angular now. I'm the founder of Angular Tunisia also. I think I've said it all. That's it.
Nice. You wear many hats and accomplish a lot of things all at once. How do you have time to do all of that?
Yeah, because I love to do it. I'm really passionate about it, so I can find myself to this a time.
Isn't it great how that passion can really drive you to do beyond what maybe you're planning to do, right? It always I find that for myself as well, that it's just the passion of things, the passion of helping people out and teaching and things like that. It's like, I just want to do more, even though maybe there's not enough time, but you still find a way because it's just so rewarding to do that stuff.
Yes. It's energizing also. When you give help, you give, some resources, people are happy, your students are happy about what they are learning, etc. You share some content and someone told you that, you helped me a lot in doing this and I was struggling with it, etc. So it gives you back some good energy and makes you feel great.
Speaking of good energy, you have some of the same friends that we have. And when I found it, because I didn't know you when I first met you, I was supposed to do the GDE community interview, and so I stalked you. And also when I saw that you were referred by Mike Ladkey and Web Dave, I was like, oh, this girl's gonna be trouble, because I just love those guys. They're wild and crazy and fun. And then my daughter saw she came in here to talk to me about something, and she was like, Lamis Chebbi, what, you know her? And she was like, I love her. And I was like, how do you know her? So, so your name precedes you. It's a small world.
Thank you. Yeah. I met Dave and Michael in NG Spain, and it was my first talk, and they helped me a lot. They helped me in my talk. Yeah, and they were very, welcoming, and I felt home. They were really nice to me, and I love them. And I saw the talk of your daughter, of Samantha, in NGBE,
I think it was.
NGBE, I think.
Yeah, NGBE. And you tweeted at her, and it made her happy.
Yeah,
I don't know what you said to her, Lamis, but she never forgot it. And like every time she sees your name, she's like, I love her. Yeah, it meant a lot to her.
She named the stage, and I was like, I was watching her from the beginning till the end. I want to tell you that I am a person that has a short attention span. I can't follow for 1 hour or something. I am totally lost. I have to take a break. But with Samantha, it was, the full talk. And I liked when she said that my mom used to punish me by creating some websites. So this is a creative, way to punish children, and I love this. And I'll never forget it.
Creative punishments are my specialty.
Yeah. How did you find out?
No, I'm joking, Justin.
It's incredible.
Always be kind. All right. Well, should we dive into the content?
Let's see your slides. They're beautiful. I warned them in the chat because I saw these slides yesterday, and I was like, I have got to eat before AngularAir starts, or I'm going to be sorry.
So you should be seeing my slides.
Yep.
I don't have a double monitor, so I won't be seeing you. That's sad, but okay, I'll be calm. I'll be focused. I will be focused on my presentation. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, we see
Yeah,
your screen.
looks good.
We'll give you a heads up if the slides disappear for some reason. Otherwise, if we're quiet, then everything's going good. We can see it.
Yeah, so it's about some healthy recipes using Angular and RxJS.
Oh, sorry, really quick. The bar of the StreamYard sharing your screen, you can click the hide on that, I think, to get that off of the overlay on your slide.
So is it okay? Hide.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I can start.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
so
please.
ready.
So I'll be talking today, or I'll be sharing my healthy recipes using Angular and RxJS. And when I say healthy, it's something that we achieve at the lowest cost. I mean, with minimum code, you're good to go, and you have a clean code, maintainable, and really readable. Okay. Yeah, and you achieve it with a performance solution. Also, this is very important. Yeah, so I'll be sharing with you some situation I faced and how I dealt with them using Angular and RxJS. I will skip this part because I've already introduced myself. So first disclaimer, all food pictures in this presentation are purely made for aesthetic purposes. I mean, it does not reflect any of the Angular and RxJS concepts described in the next slide. So don't try to make relations between the concept and the food picture there, because there's no relation, and it doesn't make sense, but it's okay. I loved it. So I will start with the first recipe, which is bulk operations. Okay, when you're working with a RESTful API and you have a RESTful backend, and in your front end you need to run parallel network requests. Okay, so how we can do this in a reactive way, in a healthy way, also performant and with minimum of code. So just to demonstrate this, I have here my UI layer, and which is made with Angular, and the RESTful server in the right. And I have an action that will trigger n requests. I mean, more than one request at the same time. Okay, I want to do this one shot. And an example for this is the upload files. Okay, you may have experienced this in your application. You need, for example, to do a bulk upload. You're uploading multiple files in one shot. You don't care about the process, but you only care about the result. Okay, in the end. So you just want to display to your users whether the upload has been successful or not, and if it's not successful, which file was which files fails in the upload process, and that's it. So one shot and one result at the beginning. So for this, we will need some ingredients, and we'll need the fork join operator, finalize and catch error also, and a custom function in order to achieve this requirement. And I will start with the fork join operator, and I will explain it a little bit. So the fork join operator for RxJS falls under the category of combination operators, and there are so many operators to combine streams in RxJS. And fork join, I call it severe if you want, because fork join just launch the streams, okay, and it doesn't care what happens through the process throughout the observer. If they emit value, he doesn't care. He only cares at the end when the streams is finished and the observable emits the last value. He takes this value and emits it to the subscriber. That's it, only the last value of each stream. So if you can see here, we have 3 streams. The last value of each stream is the value that will be emitted to the subscriber at the end.
I love
And
these
it's like
features.
an array.
This helped me a lot to learn RxJS when I first,
Yeah,
like I was
marble,
reading
yeah.
about it and reading about it. And as soon as I started seeing the first marble diagrams, I was like, oh, okay. It's so helpful. I love it.
Yeah, marble diagrams comes in handy when you start learning operators, etc. Because you need to see the result, the output, and the input. And I think it's very clear in the marble diagrams. So you will get the result as an array. So here it's EG4, and that's it. So and all the streams will complete. Even the forked streams will complete. So one shot, it emits one time. That's why we call it severe operator. And that's why I need in the bulk operation. I need my stream. I don't care if they emit values in the process, but I only need the last value. And so I will demonstrate this into code. It looks like this. Here I put 2 streams. I have my upload service, which contains an upload file method that takes as a parameter the file to be uploaded and returns an observable of file status. Okay, whether the status is successful, I mean, it's okay, or something wrong happens, so there's an error. So uploaded with errors or uploaded successfully. And each time I have different inputs. So I will have here 2 requests. I will run 2 requests. This is my bulk operation. And I am just passing it to the fork join operator. And at the end, I will get the result, which will contain the last status of the first file and the last status of the second file. It will be in order, even if the second stream completed first. Fork join respect the order, first in, first out. So it will be the first result, then the second result of the past observable here in the parameters. And you can process the result here for demonstration purposes. I'm just logging files uploaded successfully, but maybe you will be doing, for sure, you will be doing something else in the real world application. And also keep in mind that in real world application, you will not call here the observables one by one because the list is often dynamic. Okay, so it's simple, nothing fancy here. You can just map the array of your operations. You can put this dynamically inside an array and map it and return the observable, an array of observables, okay, that you will pass to the fork join operator. It's not something really complicated to accomplish. Okay, so here I have the result of my bulk operation, but still, I am not here conform to the specification I described earlier to my slides because I only handled the success callback. Okay, so if something wrong happens within the upload, within the upload process, if this method throws an error at the client level or at the server side level, nothing will happen. And you should keep in mind this. This is an important. This is an important trick. The fork join when the operator will complete when one of the streams throws an error. So you should be aware of this behavior in order to handle it in your web application. So here, if my upload file method throws an error, then nothing will get emitted. Even if the second one succeeds, this stream is completed immediately after an error. So nothing will get emitted here, and I will get upset, okay, because nothing will be displayed to the end user. And yeah, I want to know which file throws an exception. What's wrong? Okay. And in general, there are some information that the user cares or should see. For example, maybe the size of the file is too big and exceeded a certain limit, or the uploaded type, for example, is not supported. I don't know, for example, PNG is not supported, and I should know that PNG is not supported in order to upload another format. This is an example. Okay, so in upload files, those are the limits, I mean, in general, that the user should see. So I should see this as a user, and the process should not get blocked. I mean, I should proceed the process, okay, and end it with a final status: who succeeded, who fails. And here we can do this. I mean, you can achieve this again using RxJS with the catch error operator. My arrow here is not in the correct place, but it's okay. So here we should handle the errors in our observable, and we just choose the catch operator and wrap the observable into, wrap the error into an observable. Okay, so I am kind of telling the stream that, okay, you can sell, you are alive. Okay, I will keep you alive. There's an error, no problem. I will wrap it into another observable. But this observable should contain the details of the error. This is so important. So here in my case, I have just the file status and the error message. That's all. But I should wrap the errors and the result in the observable should contain a description, okay, to be able to differentiate between the success case and the error case. And yeah, when you do this, the for joy will not complete. It will wait for all the observables and stream to complete, and you will get a status. Okay, so you will get a status, the final status. Now, if I want, okay, so I manage or I handled the both success and error use cases. Now, if I want to execute a side effect when each stream completes, for example, here in my case, you can see I want to calculate the progress percentage of my upload process, okay, for when the first stream finished or the first upload is performed. I need to show to the user the progress, 30%, 15%, 100%. I don't know, it's the progress of the upload process. So how can we do this? As you can see here, I put, in addition to the code I showed you in the slide before, I have here the finalize operator that I use it with catch or error. I combined the catch error and finalize. And in the finalize, I just call the calculate progress percentage method, which is a custom function that tracks the progress of the upload process. Okay, and I return just this progress, and with this progress you can do whatever you want. You can put it as a property in the component, in your component, in your Angular component, and just share it or pass it as input to your progress bar component. Yeah, so you can do whatever you want with this progress component. So still, you can, put a side effects on the completion of each stream. Yeah, and this is how I dealt with the whole story. I mean, with 3 operators: catch error, finalize, fork join, and the custom function. I resolved this this issue. I mean, the bulk operation for my case here, it's upload. It's the upload all, which is a recurrent case in the web applications. You can deal with it this way, or you can, I mean, make the similar logic, but in other situation of bulk operation. Okay, it still work. Yeah, in all the cases, I think maybe in some cases it's not, but in general, I think that this is what you need. I mean, when I say bulk operation, it's one shot. I need to know the final result, success or error. I need to handle the errors. I need to do a custom behavior, and I need to also track the completion of each stream to do something. And yeah, you can do all of this using those three operators. This is the first recipe. Let's move to the second one, which is caching.
Really quick on the first one. I just want to mention that it's really cool to see, like, if you've ever done like this bulk type of stuff in the past, right, without observables, and have gone down that journey of doing that, and now seeing the recipe here of how that same thing can be done in observables, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I struggled with it. I mean, in the both ways. I mean, when I was working before with traditional JavaScript application, I was using Google Web Toolkit at the moment, and I dealt with this scenario, and now I'm dealing with the same scenario, but with Angular and RxJS. It seems like, yeah, I mean, I have three, 4, 5, I mean, maximum 10 lines of code, and I am done with this. But before, I was
right.
Yeah, you can. It's not the same. I mean, reactive programming comes handy in many situations, but you should stop thinking imperatively, think reactively, and yeah, do the switch. And when you do the switch, you are you can, I mean, do many performant things using it.
I got one quick question for you. You mentioned you came from doing a lot of Java. Did you do reactive stuff in Java as well prior to this? Or
No. Yeah, I was doing only imperative programming with Java. I didn't use Java. I mean, the last version I used was 7, and then a little bit of 8. But yeah, not. I haven't dealt with it using Java. Yeah, but I think it's the same. I mean, the same paradigm, maybe the same concepts with using functional programming, iterative pattern, observer pattern, all this stuff. Yeah, I think it's easier with the last versions of Java now. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that was all I had. Sorry to interrupt you. Thanks.
No, go ahead. Feel free to jump in. I like it. So the third recipe now, which is caching HTTP request. Here I am also pointing out a RESTful API, a RESTful backend. It's like a full stack thing here. Quick recipe for a full stack thing. So if you have many Angular components and you have a service, for my case, it's recipe service, obviously. And I have, in my recipe service, I have a recipe stream, which contains the list of recipes. And every component in my web application can just subscribe to my subscribe to the stream by injecting the recipe service, okay, by injecting the Angular service in the component. And when they do this n times, even if I already called the server once, I mean, here for recipes $, I should mention that for recipes $, I am collecting the list of recipes by calling an API, okay? And I will perform an HTTP request there. And all the other components, if they need the recipes $, you will see many calls in your network if many components will subscribe to this stream, and yeah, the calls will be, I mean, multiplied in your network. And sometimes you don't need to recall the server. Okay, so you need to cache this information, and caching is a very good solution that works in the backend and in the front end layer to enhance performance. Okay, so to enhance performance and though the user experience. Okay, but here I have to stress something. Not everything is cacheable. So you should be careful here about this part. You should ask myself, is this resource cacheable or not? And how to notice this? Okay, does this resource change when other components, I mean, when many components call it through the user session or something? I mean, I can explain it further. For example, maybe the API returns something static. In this way, I can cache it. For example, the list of currencies. I know that the list of currencies will not change throughout the application. So it's static. Even if multiple components call it, I will always return or receive the same list. In this case, it's okay. The user information, for example, the logged in user. Maybe the information of this logged in user are static. In some cases, they are not. But this is the idea. But if my service, the backend service I'm calling, has different inputs and it will return different results according to this input, then you have to be careful, because even though I have two components calling this service, those components should not get the same result, because every component gives to this service a different input. And if you cache the resource in this case, then all those components will get the same result, and they should not. So you have to be careful. You have to ask myself if I can cache this resource or I can't. If you can, it's okay. Just go ahead with calling the APIs several times. But if it's cacheable, then there is a solution in RxJS for you. Here you can see the double calls in the network. You can expect it in order to see the double calls. And what we need in this situation, our ingredients are share, replay, and catch error operator. You will see the catch error operator in every ingredient. Okay, it's something that we should put in every recipe. So yeah, handling errors in RxJS is something crucial. So let's break down what's going on in this service here. I have to stress something very important. You can see here the list of recipes, the recipes dollar, which it's an observable that contains the list of recipes that I retrieve from my API, my server API, which is mentioned here. And this is a very recommended pattern when using Angular and RxJS. When you collect things, when you want to collect data, it's highly advisable to put it in an observable property that you can share publicly with other components. Okay, here the observable is an attribute of the healthy recipe service. So you can still, all the components that can inject this service will get access to the stream. So here is a very, handy way in order to put in place a reactive mechanism. It will help you, because it's kind of having all your streams in many services, and all the components can get the streams of those services. So you can still manipulate all the data of the application as streams. So you can be reactive this way. You can do many things with those streams. You can combine them, you can transform them. So this is a very recommended pattern that you should take care of, also because it will help you in the implementation of the reactive concept later.
Okay. Real quick, because that's a very good point. So the point that you're making is not just exposing the observable, because you can expose it in multiple ways. Excuse me. But you're talking about exposing the observable here as a property versus through a function call. Correct?
Yeah, versus a function call. Yeah, that's it. You can, I mean, the first way, I mean, when I started learning RxJS and Angular, I used to put here a function, let's say in my case, get recipes, for example, that will call the, my API or my backend API. But here, but you can't, take advantage of the stream in itself as a stream, as an observable. And this way you can. This way you can manipulate all your streams as an observable.
Because it's safe to do that, because essentially observables work out to be read-only. That there's a way of providing value to somebody who's listening, and no ways to actually add additional values in there. So everybody's always getting the same read-only value.
Yeah, that's true. And you only you get rid of calling those methods in the ng on init lifecycle hook. So yeah, you can just in your component do the same thing and just collect in it and then do what you want to do with it. I mean, transforming, getting data, passing it to the template, etc. So it's really it will help you. Also, it will enhance your performance in this case, because otherwise it will, when you put it in the ng on init lifecycle hook, it will call it every time you render the component. So yeah, this is an important point also. Another advantage. Okay, so I said, so this is the part of the collecting the recipes as a stream. And now you just can call your share replay operator here after piping your stream, your observable. And also I am catching the errors and calling a specific error function here. So it's the process error in my case. I always put custom function here. It's my custom function to process errors. And I recommend this also in catching the errors, okay? Yeah, so that's it. So you just use share replay, and share replay will share the observable with all the subscribers, okay? So if you have 3 subscribers, then they will share the same stream data. And yeah, that's it. So this is a quick way to cache resources or data coming from your API calls, in my case, with all the subscribers. So this is the second recipe. Now let's move to the third one, which is combining streams, or we can call it data joining. If you are familiar with SQL and relational databases, and remember the tables and how we join the tables in order to combine the data in order to return a result, yeah, a specific result in a specific query, then yeah, it's the same, I mean, the same concept here. And as we have all our streams separated in many services, and we can, every component can just inject and subscribe to those streams, then we can for sure, I mean, whether transforming those streams, combining them, we can do similar things. And if you have this use case of combining streams, then all you need here, I need 3 ingredients, sorry. It's combine latest, catch error, and the array destructuring technique. And here, when I say ingredients, I mean the ingredients in my recipe, Okay, but you can find other combination operators that you can use, and they can comes in handy in your situation. But again, I'm just describing here my need of combination. And the combined latest operator, I will show you here the combined latest process. So how it works. So the combined latest will start emitting, will emit also always the recent value of the streams given as input. So it will not start emitting unless one of the streams emit first. So if in this case here I have two streams, and it's, for example, the last emission at this point of this stream is A, this stream is 1, so it will be A1. When this stream emitted the last value, for example, the first one, it was the last value is B. At that point, the second stream still have as a recent value as a last value 1. So it will be B1. Then the stream emitted, so the last value will be 2. And here, still no value. The last one is B, so it will be B2, and so on and so forth. So this operator will make you always able to listen to the last values emitted by your streams. So if you want to get notified every time there's a new value and you have separated streams, so you can just do combine latest and do your job. In my case, I have recipes and reviews, and I need every time displaying the recipe, and I need every time to display to the user the list of reviews or the updated list of reviews. But in my backend, I have different URLs for recipes and reviews. So here you have the list of recipes as a stream, and here the list of reviews as a stream. And they are not, combined in the same API. As I said, I have separate APIs for both data, and otherwise, we can't join the recipes and the reviews in the same API, because a recipe may have 100 or reviews. I don't want to carry all this out every time in my HTTP communication. So I will always, I'll be always showing the last, reviews of every recipes, maybe the updated number of all the reviews, and maybe the 5 latest reviews or something with details, with detailed description. In this case, again, so combine latest was a very good fit for me, and it was because it helped me get every time the last version or last data of the reviews, and again the last data of recipes. Okay, if I have a new recipe, I can get the last updated version of this data. So yeah, I used combine latest, and you can pipe it and then just use the map operator in order to map the result. And here I'm using the array destructuring technique in order to split it down into an array with two, there are 2 arrays here, recipes and reviews, and you can do something after both recipes and reviews have emitted something, okay? So yeah, again, here for demonstrating purposes, I've just put in a command, but you can, do many things here in order to process your data. Yeah, so go ahead with combine latest when you are really in this scenario. You have, different APIs. Still here, I am talking under the umbrella of a full stack thing. I have a RESTful API. I'm doing many HTTP requests. All my data are carried in. I'm using some requests in order to get the data, etc. And your streams are separate. the backends are maybe also separated API, etc. But you have some kind of relation between them. So you can use one of the combination operators available over there, and combine latest. This is the specification of combine latest. It gives you the last emitted values of all the past streams. Yeah, so it comes in handy in this way. Now let's move to the fourth recipe, which is avoid memory leaks. And here it's a very important memory, like a very important subject. We were discussing it in the community yesterday with Alisa, and in the reactive chat. And here, when we say memory leaks, when working with Angular and RxJS, there are many important things that you need to take care of. Managed unsubscriptions is one of those things, okay? But there are, among others, let's say. Among others, we have unsubscription. So I will shed the light now on the unsubscription thing and how you deal with unsubscription when using Angular and RxJS. The first way, which is, okay, I forgot the ingredients. So what we need here is asynchronous pipe, take until, first, take class, and first operators in RxJS. So the first things to do, maybe you can let Angular manage the subscription for you. And how you can achieve this using the very famous pipe, which is the async pipe. For those who don't know it, this pipe, first of all, it subscribes automatically to your stream. And best of all, it unsubscribes automatically from your stream also. So you don't have to manage the unsubscription yourself. But it's not always, possible to subscribe at the template level. At least I experienced this many times, and I think that many developers also experience this. Sometimes I just can't use the asynchronous pipe. I just can't put this observable. It's not in the template thing. It's not. Yeah, it's something I manage in my component. So in this case, you can let RxJS manage the subscription for you. And how RxJS can manage the subscription for you through some operators. If you're working with those kind of operators, take while, take last, first, you should be aware that RxJS executes the operator process of this operator specific process and then completes. For example, here for take 5, we will be emitting a value every 1 second. It will take the 5 first values out, log them, and in my case here, I'm just logging the values I'm receiving, and then at the end, it will be completed. As you can see here, I am just logging in the console completed to just say that, yeah, this stream completed, and it will be completed at the end. So if you can use one of those operators, do it, okay? Because it's highly recommended to let someone else manage the subscription for you, because it's not recommended to subscribe yourself, okay? It's a very bad pattern. And maybe someday in the future, RxJS will handle this out of the box. Maybe it will be a built-in for this. I really don't know, but just take care of this part. If you can optimize this, do it. Now, if you want to look further, if you want to use any other libraries, there's two, I think, interesting library, Until Destroy, which provide a specific operator, RxJS operator, that will manage the unsubscription for you from all the observables you're using in your component on this after the onDestroy hook. And the Rx Angular, which is also a library that do many things. in terms of performance and managing state and also managing subscription for you.
Hey, isn't that written by that one guy? What's his name? Mike something or other.
Michael Latke.
I know. I'm just picking on Mike. And NG Neat too has some really nice libs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, those are both really good. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean. I just got excited because I recognized the logo. I'm like, that looks just like Mike Ladke.
Yeah. The website, I think, is new. You should check it out. So check this out. It's it's something that that's really, I mean, helpful in many situations.
Hey, Lamis, Sam wants to know if NG Neat is available yet for Angular 11. Do you know off the top of your head? NG Neat, the Until Destroy.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No. But yeah, maybe it will be planned for the future. So so this is some libraries some developers also use in order to manage the unsubscription. But still, if you don't want to include a third-party dependency and don't want to do this, and you can't let Angular manage the subscription for you, you can't use the asynchronous pipe, you can't use one of the RxJS operator available over there, you don't want to include third-party library, then do it yourself, but just be careful. And here there is a recommended pattern also in order to manage the unsubscription in the ng on destroy lifecycle hook of your Angular component. As you can see here, I have this stream. Okay, so this is my stream. I am subscribing to it in the ng on init. And yeah, so this is what we should not see in your code. But as we said, you are forced to do this or you don't have the choice. So you should be aware that you use here the take until operator. You can use the take until operator and pass a specific observable. Here in my case, I have a subject. Okay, that when this subject will complete, then the completion of your subscription will be triggered as well. So this is very useful, and you can just decide when you want this subject to complete. In my case here, I am just completing it in the ng on destroy. You can do this, and yeah, this way you have, I mean, you manage the unsubscription and to have memory leaks. Okay, you can also, I mean, call the subscribe directly or unsubscribe, sorry, directly on your subscription in your ng on destroy in your Angular component. And yeah, maybe you are managing those observable in your services, so you have to be aware of this. You shouldn't subscribe inside those services or do nested subscriptions. It's very expensive as an operation. So yeah, so always make it centralized in your components. And yeah, so as I said, you can do unsubscribe directly on the subscription. And if you are using any of the combination operators over there, merge as an example, so you can just execute the unsubscribe on the whole subscription of the result of the merged streams. You can, yeah, it will manage for you the unsubscription for every stream, one by one. Yeah, so that's it for the subscription, and I will be delivering a talk which is focused 100% on memory leaks and performance, some of the pitfalls that you should avoid, and some of the quick wins that you can put in place in order to fix memory leaks and performance issues. So just check out this GitHub repository, Angular Community, Angular Missions, and you will get notified about the date. if you are interested in this subject. Now, the fifth recipe, which is sharing data between components. And this is also a very recurrent use case. So what we need here, we have one secret ingredient, which is the behavior subject. We'll need an Angular service, observable, and update function. And here I will just explain a little bit the need or the requirement. So here I have my data, which gets updated by one component and consumed by other components. Maybe all the components update and consume. So here, when you will show me this, I will tell you that your application is subject to state management. You should manage all this in one state. Yeah, and I really recommended this for many developers because I put in place a state management using a state management mechanism, or I manage the state because I worked with big applications, and those applications were subject to state management, and managing all this in a simple state, which is the single source of truth, was something really rewarding for us, okay? Because before we used to manage this, randomly without state management. But I used NGRX, by the way, and there are many other state management libraries. But the state management library I used was NGRX. But again, in some cases, people don't need state management, okay? They don't need state management, but they have some data that they need to share. Only one kind of data that they need to share, and they don't have to. And this is a dilemma. Whether we should go for state management directly or not. For me, I think we should study it first. And if your application is subject to state management, then do it. If it's not, don't do it because you hurt people, put it in place, or you want to just put it in place. Okay, I think this is a subject that we all faced at some point when we are learning Angular, etc. So if your application is not subject to state and you just want to manage a small part of data as in a single state, or you just want to share a specific part of the data with your components, then you can do this using the behavior subject with our Angular and our RxJS. Behavior subject is a special kind of subject in RxJS, and I see subject as observable and observers at the same time. And this variant of subject makes you able to just store the last version of the data emitted by your observable. And this is very handy, it comes in very handy in the state management things. And when you see the implementation of all those libraries, you can find them based on behavior subject. At least NGRX. So if you want to do this yourself, okay, so you can just here, there is a recommended pattern also. In your service, again, you can just expose a behavior subject, which will be private and will get managed here inside the service. And you can expose as an observable the observable extracted from this behavior subject here. In my case, initially, I have nothing in this behavior subject. Nothing is emitted. It's empty. It's the empty is emitted. And when I update the recipe, I have a method here that updates the recipe. And when this method is called, I will trigger next on this behavior subject in order to get the recent or the last recipe title. And in my component, I am just calling the event. For me here is on click, and I just update the service by calling this method in order to, when you update this this recipe, you call the update service, which takes into which take as a parameter the last version of recipe here. I just next or emit this value, the recent value, to all my subscribers. So everyone else in the application listening to this stream will get the last error. So you can see your UI just changing. Okay, and if you have many components and if you have a card, many cards, for example, each card is related to an Angular component, you can see all these cards communicate when a value changed in one card, thanks to this pattern. I mean, to the behavior subject, you subscribe to it and you will get notified about the last data emitted by the stream. So if you have this requirement, then just try to use this pattern. Maybe it can be helpful for you. The next recipe is real-time WebSockets.
Hey, Lamis, we're running out of time.
Okay, I have to wrap it
Well,
up.
actually, we did run out of time, but that's okay. But we also have the community hangout right after this. You have a couple more recipes, right?
I have two more recipes. 3.
Do you want to kind of skim through them, and then maybe we can jump over to the community hangouts and go into a little bit more detail? Because I think some people have hard stops and they have to get back to work, but I love it.
Okay, so 5 minutes, it's okay?
Is it okay, Justin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I will wrap it up quickly. So here, the second recipe is real-time using WebSockets. So you can, process or consume real-time data that coming from a WebSocket server, thanks to RxJS. Also, RxJS support this kind of data, push data from WebSocket server through the WebSocket subject, which is the secret ingredient for me here. And you can call it and just pass the URL, the URL for your WebSocket server, and you can start to get emitted values from this real-time server. You can also trigger or override, or let's say provide some custom behavior in different events of your life cycle. Okay, and the opening of the connection, the closure, etc. So give it a look. It's something helpful. I have 2 GitHub repositories on this. It's ng real-time dashboard. I wrote articles and spoke so much about this in detail, so check it out. And next recipe is benching performance. Okay, so you should bench and measure the performance of your application. And here, some secret ingredients. I have Source Map Explorer for analyzing the bundle size. You can put in place, also don't forget to put in place the change detection strategy on push to minimize the change detection cycles, which will get triggered when the inputs, outputs, and when there is an observable called in your template with the paper asynchronous async. So so just consider the on-push strategy, consider the lazy loading of your routing modules, compress your application. It's very important to minimize the bundle size. If you're using many ng4 as structural directive, then give track-by a try. It's performance, and consider state management in case of big applications. Last one, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and upgrade always to the last version. We are now at the Angular 11.2, and if you update always to the last versions, you get some, incredible features out of the box, especially performance, those related to performance and the bundle size. So here, all that you need is just one command, ng update. I love it, and there are many, improvements in this version. Faster builds with the ngCC process. It's, I think, 4 times faster than the version 9, than the 9 version. Faster compilation with the last version of TypeScript. There is the experimental Webpack support, improved reporting and login. and updated language service preview. I love this plugin because it's helpful when you're in the development phase. It's like you have many auto completion, etc. So yeah, so those are my collection of improvements. Thank you very much for having me, and stay safe. Thank you.
Awesome. And those recipes were amazing.
Everyone is hungry now. I was fine until the chocolate, and Lars too was like, "Oh, with the chocolate we couldn't have." Lars is like, "That's it. I'm ordering Thai." It's crazy.
Hungry to eat and to write code.
Lots of really good individual patterns that can be part of your toolbox as you're writing code to remember each one of those different snippets as you come across each one of those scenarios, and even combining some of them.
Yeah. Maybe you should dive into details further for some concepts like memory leaks, performance, etc. But I want to be just quick.
The other big takeaway from this is that you focused on error handling. And that's a big one that a lot of people glance over, especially during talks about RxJS, that not many people consider talking about error handling. And more people need to focus on that when they're writing their actual RxJS code.
Yeah. I experienced this. I was like, I got many errors in production and don't have any information about what happens. Yeah, because of this, error handling thing, that's why I take care of it so much. Even when you're working with NGRX, because you are in those effects class and you're wrapping your observables, you're transforming them, and you forgot, to catch the errors. Yeah, but the code stays.
And when you look at the dev tools in our browser and try and diagnose that stack trace is crazy, right? So like that's another reason to have that catch error and stuff, like you said, to be able to diagnose what's going on a little bit easier, because diagnosing that stack of a stream and everything is challenging if you don't have that.
Yeah, you should take care of it.
Cool. Well, let's do some quick picks if anybody has any picks. Do our panelists have any picks? Mike has a pick. Mike.
I do have a pick. I'll have to find the link. I have it in the tab open. Actually, give me a quick sec. I want to find it because I want to get remember exactly who it was.
You want me to buy you some time?
No, I'm good. Corey Ryland put up a really cool blog post about building essentially a console table to play arcade games. Includes the build process and the Raspberry Pi part of it, and it was very cool. Very informative, and definitely check that out. I will. +1
for Corey Ryland. I love that guy. I haven't seen him. We should get him back on the show.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to make a note. Corey Ryland, if you hear this. Yes, I love Corey Ryland. He's amazing. He's a really good teacher, too. And he's a really good person. Don't get me started. Okay, and also, right now, actually, they're waiting for us, Lamis. They're like looking for, because we're late. So, let's go. Oh, by the way, you're getting tons of love right now in the YouTube comments. I just want you to know, Lamis, because everybody really, really, really liked your talk.
Yeah, I'm very happy it was helpful, and don't hesitate if you have any question to reach out, or you have any other idea or core idea in order to achieve this. Yeah, I wanted to hear about it.
Nice. Now, Lamis, do you have any picks that you want to share before we wrap up?
I want to share the Rx Angular library of Michael Ledke. I think you should check it out because it manages the state, enhances performance. In my case, I used it in the real-time issue. I had a real-time application using WebSockets, and it updates frequently the view. So I got some performance issues with change detection, etc., and this helped me a lot. So yeah, and in the unsubscription also it helps. So give it a try. Give the GitHub repo a try. A look. It's very helpful.
Nice. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks a ton for coming on, for sharing your time and sharing your content. We super appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
It was really
Lamis,
nice hanging out with
great.
you.
Yeah, great to finally meet you and have you part.
I am still a huge fan of AngularAir. So today I am a host.
Awesome.
We're a huge fan of you too, Lamis.
For sure. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a wrap, everyone. And go over to the community. Check that out. Follow up the conversation. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
See you. Ciao.